What's up, dudes and dudettes of the internet? My name's Seth, and I've never done a video like this before, but today we're going to be talking about the 6 game-breaking glitches that came out with the Trove Adventures update. Now, again, I don't normally do like these top 10 videos or junk like that. Personally speaking, I find them to be absolutely pointless, but in this case, I thought that it would be funny as well as kind of a way that we can kind of tease and poke fun at the fact that these big game-breaking bugs ended up actually being added to the Trove Adventures update. Because, you know, what's the point in just sitting there saying that it's the greatest update that Trove has ever had, because it is, outside of the fact that it's got some game-breaking bugs, and a lot of them are very, very detrimental to the update itself. So let's just get right into it, and before we do, I would very much appreciate if you hit that like button, or maybe you want to wait till the end of the video to see if my opinions of all of these things end up actually mattering to you. But in either case, I'm also going to mention that while there are still going to be a lot of bugs that we're not going to be talking about in today's video, these are just the most common ones that I've seen lots and lots of people complain about, and then on top of that, ones that I have experienced myself. So without further ado, the biggest one right up at the top is going to end up being the Prime Club World, and how you can't always set your primary club world. Now, the primary club world, you can only reset every 24 hours, which, okay, that's fine, except for the fact that a lot of people are logging into the game and for some reason, they can't even set their Prime Club World. It's just grayed out, and they've waited for 24 hours, and it's still grayed out. So obviously, there's some type of an issue there where for some strange reason, we can't end up setting our Prime Club World despite the fact that you don't even have a Prime Club World set, right? So that's going to also go to our second issue right here, which is kind of the same bug, but we're going to consider it something else, where a lot of times I've tried to invite people to a Club World, and it straight up just says, you can't invite that person until they set their Prime Club World. And that's where I've noticed the issue of lots and lots of people not being able to set their Prime Club World. It's ridiculous, man. Like, why does that happen? And then there's also going to be the random Prime World Club slot. So for some strange reason, my Club World, as of right now when I'm recording this anyways, by the time this video is out, I should have actually swapped back over. But Team Pixel 5 is my primary Club World. Not because I selected it, mind you. I never went into the Team Pixel menu or clicked this or anything. I actually was invited by somebody else to their Club World, respectively. And then for some strange reason, that menu must have had something to do with selecting my Prime Club, because next thing I know, I warp out of there right back to Team Pixel, and then I notice that Team Pixel 5 is right here as my Prime Club World. I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully they end up fixing that one, because that is really, really bad. Because as it ended up randomly swapping my club, like my primary club, it also gave me the 24-hour timer. So I can't swap back to Team Pixel, my main club, my baby. I can't swap back to it for 24 hours because of whatever happened that randomly swapped me to Team Pixel 5. Like, seriously, what is up with that? And then for number 4, we've got like the biggest, this is probably the most annoying bug of all. I probably should have had it right at the end, but the other 2 bugs I think are kind of like worth mentioning, is just not being able to keep track of Clubits. So for some strange reason, this is really, really weird. Donations in general, now you can see Nintendo Gamer is at 220, because the Clubit tracker doesn't actually generate any numbers here unless you donate 1 Clubit at a time. Okay, so what you actually do to get Clubits is you go over, accept quests from these guys at the Rally of Heroes, and then you end up completing quests for them, which gives you Adventurine. Then you come over to the vault, deposit and exchange the Adventurine for Clubits, and then you just deposit into the club vault. That's where you end up donating your Clubits, and where it's supposed to end up tracking how much you've actually donated in the club, so that you can kind of sort your member list, right? Which, incidentally, kind of sucks that it's not tracking it, because I myself personally really wanted to set up a system where we would end up rewarding certain people for that would end up donating certain amounts of Clubits, right? So maybe at like 1,000 Clubits donated, you end up getting a mount or something like that, right? I don't know. It's, you know, I still haven't worked it out or anything like that. I can't work it out until this update ends up getting fixed, or until this bug ends up getting fixed. And hopefully, whenever they do end up finding a fix to this, where it actually tracks how much Clubits people are actually donating, I really hope that it works retroactively and can detect all of the Clubits that everyone's donated, rather than the hotfix comes out and only after that it's going to be able to detect the Clubits. It's not really like it matters or anything like that. It most of all is just bragging rights, so it's fine, whatever, who cares. Then at number 5, we've got the random disconnects that happen pretty much every like 20 to 30 minutes. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. So as of right now, I'm just going to officially say this in this video, folks. They keep saying that they're getting DDoS. Now, what DDoS essentially means, I don't know what the word stands for. I just know the term DDoS is when someone's server ends up getting attacked by a bot that's kind of repeatedly spamming stuff on their server, or like whether it's opening their website or just overcapacitizing. Is that even a word? It brings their servers to its knees and has it have to shut down, right? So despite the fact that they keep saying that they're dealing with a DDoS attack with Trove, that's not true, because we're sitting here online on Trove right now playing with everybody. And if they were actually getting DDoS, it means that their servers would just be offline. Like, period. So anyways, the random disconnects, I don't know what that is. Some people actually aren't even affected by it. I know Joe, for example, like Nintendo Gamer, right over there. Look at that freak. Just look at him. Get angry at him, folks, because every time we end up getting a random disconnect, not only is it really annoying for me recording videos, I've had like 5 disconnects tonight while I'm trying to actually record these tutorials and stuff for you guys and gals, but then also just this video for fun. Joe and a handful of other people don't actually have the issue. They don't disconnect. There's just something about it. Otherwise, everybody on console and PC is all disconnecting at the same time, outside of this 10 to 20% of people that aren't actually disconnecting at all. Ridiculous. Like, it's so weird, dude. And then on top of that, the big final, the number 6, this one I think is the coolest. And that's why, despite the fact that it's a bug, I put it right up at the top as like the big one that we're gonna want. You know, I wish that this was actually in the game kind of bug. Team Pixel, as you can see right here, is overcapacity. So there's actually a bug right now where you can go over the normal limit of members allowed in a club. So normally the limit is at 751. That number 1 is saved for the leader, or in our case now, the president of the club, right? You could only end up going up to 750 individual members, and then it would just stop you from inviting more people. For some weird reason, there's a bug going on right now where that limit is gone. We can just keep inviting people. I don't know what number it would end up going to. Maybe it would end up going to 999. Maybe it would be able to go well past that, and it is just a bug straight up and going to end up causing problems if we ever reach that. However, the devs have said that this is a bug, so they are going to end up hotfixing it out. I don't expect, you know, lots of people keep getting worried every time we talk about it, saying, but if they end up hotfixing that, isn't it going to kick everybody out to 750 members? I certainly hope that it doesn't. I wouldn't think that it would. I would think that all the hotfix is going to end up doing whenever they decide to put it out is prevent us from inviting people anymore, like from any forward from 750, meaning that Team Pixel will end up being over capacity, and then slowly over time, as we end up kicking inactive players, we kick them at 7 days, then we would slowly end up getting back down to 750 members, and would be good if we could reach that right away, because of the simple fact that while we're over capacity, it means that we pretty much have to kick like 100 people right now before we could invite any new people whenever that hotfix ends up getting added. Now, just in closing here, I want to mention my own personal thoughts as to why they don't actually end up adding, like, having this as an actual feature. The only thing that I can figure is because a world itself can only have 75 players inside it at a time before nobody else can enter. So on console, more specifically, we've had that issue a lot with both PS4 and Xbox, not so much on PC. I think most of all just because with PC, people are so used to it, people just log in for a little bit and then they log out. Whereas with console players, they grind that game like the plague. Like, seriously, they just do not stop. Can't stop, won't stop. And with it, I've seen it happen a whole lot where we end up getting a club that's got 75 people in the world, and thus nobody else can log in. It can happen on PC if I appear online, but I never do because otherwise I get attacked, right? And then it's just chaos, chaos. I love chaos, right? So with that, I think that's why we only go up to 750 members. If that's not the reason, then honestly, I don't know why there's a cap. I wish that we would be able to keep inviting people. And further than that, I wish that there was a higher cap of 75 people allowed in a world at a time. Because there's also the game-breaking bug. And this is something that I'm just going to go ahead and mention publicly in this video. It's not actually related to this update in general, but it is something that should have been fixed a long time ago. Jeez, Trove devs, like seriously. I'm mentioning it in this video not to invite trolls to use this feature, but more so because I want this to be public knowledge. On consoles, on Trove, you can actually put your console to sleep, right? When you do that, Trove still considers your character logged into the game, despite the fact that you're not. Your console's asleep, it's turned off. And when you end up waking it up, it's not like you're sitting there in the club world or anything like that, right? But with how Trove works with the code in that, lots of times we'll end up having people that will specifically, maybe, you know, like on PS4, it happens a lot, where people will end up just being in a club world, putting their PlayStation to sleep rather than turning it off, and then their character model is still there. Like the character still counts. And because of that, the world gets to 75 players, and thus it's at max capacity. And then anyone who tries to log in to who logged out in the club world, their game crashes. They can't log into the game. Like, seriously. Now, again, that's not a bug that's related to this update, but I thought while we were on the topic of bugs, and hopefully these are things that the devs are going to end up hearing, that one's a big one, dude. Like, seriously, it makes console version of Trove unplayable for a lot of people whenever that ends up happening. Now, again, I'm hoping that by talking about this, it's not going to end up triggering a bunch of trolls that are going to end up going to Club Worlds and doing this, because that is not my intention. My intention is to bring this to the community so that everybody can know about it and hopefully end up complaining enough about it that it ends up actually getting resolved. But in any case, all of these issues do need to be resolved, except for the club limit. I love that one. Like, seriously, please keep that in the game. I want more members. Like, that is awesome. But in either case, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to build up loyalty points to my merch store. Links are in the description for that, where you can buy a bunch of shirts and stuff. And those of you that want to go the extra mile and donate to me for absolutely free, you can sign up with Gawkbox. Links are in the description, explaining everything about that as well. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.